Welcome back to another episode of Diomosaurus Mini Painting. In today's episode, we're going to be making lava bases. This will be the first of 3 videos detailing various techniques for making lava bases for your miniatures. For this video, we'll stick with 2 simple techniques using things you likely already have at home. So without any further ado, let's get to it. The first base we're going to make today is going to use a fairly common basing material, cork. For my bases, I'm using a cork placemat I picked up at IKEA. It's about 3 millimeters thick, so it'll add some nice depth to the base. What you're going to want to do here is to tear up a few pieces and create some channels for the lava we'll be painting on shortly. I like to add a second layer of rocks for some dimension on the base as well. Once you've got an arrangement you like, go ahead and glue that down with some super glue. Once we've got everything glued in place, we're going to want to paint all the cork. Here I'm using brown liner, but any dark color with hints of brown in it should look good. Go ahead and keep painting that. You're going to want to cover up all the cork. With that done, we want to lay down a deep red in the channels we've created. It's okay to be a little messy with it, and it doesn't matter too much if some gets on the cork. I'm using Reaper's Heraldic Red for this. Once we've got that fully covering the channels, we want to come back in with an orange and work that in without going all the way to the edges. I'm very cleverly using volcanic orange for this step. With that done, we want to repeat the same process with a reddish yellow. For this, I'm going to use marigold yellow. And for the last step for the lava, we want to create the warmest parts of the lava at the center with a bright yellow. I'm using pale saffron here, but any pure yellow should do the trick. Finally, we're going to do some dry brushing to give the rocks a little object source lighting from the lava. I'm using my orange and yellow midtones to do this, and just hitting it wherever I think would look good. You can go ahead and do this until you're happy with it, just go crazy. You can also mix in a little brownish gray here to give some texture to the rocky surfaces. . And that's it. Just don't forget to paint that rim black. The main material for our next base is going to be 3mm EVA foam. This can be found at craft stores in various size sheets. We want to cut a rough shape around the size of our base, and then use the base itself as a template for cutting that down to size. Once we've got a rough shape we're happy with, we're going to go ahead and glue it to our base. This is probably an excessive amount of super glue, but I'm definitely not worried about my base falling apart anytime soon. With the foam glued down, rough up the edges a little bit so the surface isn't a uniform texture. Then, we want to start carving in our channels for the lava. As opposed to our cork base, we're removing the material to create the texture we want here. We'll cut some rough patterns with the hobby knife first, and then come back in with something a bit more blunt to rip out the foam along these paths. I'm applying some heat here to smooth over the edges that we tore up. At this scale, I'm not really sure it makes any difference, and the step can probably be skipped without any noticeable difference. Once we're happy with the shape, we want to break up the top surface of the foam. We'll do this with a little bit of PVA glue and sand. Now time to get to the painting. Follow the same pattern from the first base. Deep red, orange, reddish yellow, and bright yellow. Then we want to paint the rocks with a dark brown or black and highlight with some gray. And if we're lucky with this one, we won't even have to paint the base rim black. And just like that, we've got two simple but great looking lava bases. If you like this video and want to see more, like and subscribe. I'll be back soon with a video on cracked earth lava bases, and then another one for flowing lava bases after that. In the meantime, stay safe and don't forget to hobby internet, friends. See you soon.